there is something that is ongoing in the with the Super Eagles football currently. The news is everywhere about Finidi George and Victor Osimhen, the outburst and everything currently. So I have Okpe here. Okpe is like one of the best sports analysts you can ever see. So Okpe, Okpe knows everything about football. So he's going to be telling us like what's going on, what's happening, with the Super Eagles, Victor Osimhen, Finidi George. Okpe, let us know what's happening, the real story, the foundation, everything.
Okay, so first of all, it's a pleasure to be on your platform. Thank you for the kind words and compliments. So yeah, earlier today there was an opera between, um, first of all, us finding out that Finidi George had tendered his resignation, and then a couple of hours after that, a particular media outlet, which I would not mention, in fact, that media outlet is notorious for always publicizing fake stories when it comes to Nigerian football and football generally. They're just one of those online media outlets that just always look to capitalize on clickbaits and rumors, you know. So they went ahead to fabricate a story that Finidi George told the NFF board that Victor Osimhen was proud and that he could have been a part of the camp, but he chose not to, and that Finidi just said he's not going to beg Victor Osimhen to play for the Super Eagles. So a couple of hours later, Victor Osimhen obviously heard about the story, and next thing you know, out
Yeah,
of anger, Victor Osimhen
as
went on his
in,
Instagram live. You know, I'm sure anybody that's listening to this, they've most likely seen this, and if you've not, just go anywhere on social media, the video is trending. And then on his rants on Instagram, he said that you know he wasn't happy with the fact that it seemed to be that his name was being dragged in the mud. He wasn't happy about the fact that he seems to be disrespected, because he held Finidi in high regard, and he was very plain and open with Finidi. And he then said that's Osimhen. Osimhen then said that last day of his Serie A season, or rather Napoli's last match in Serie A, he picked up an injury against Lecce. It was an ankle injury, and then he flew to Germany to see his child. And while at Germany, he had an MRI scan. So while he was in consultation with the doctor, he called Finidi George. Finidi George was on the call, and he said while the conversation was going on, he told one of his friends to make a recording of the conversation. So Finidi George was in the conversation with the doctor and Victor Osimhen, and the doctor established the fact that he can't he could not participate in Nigeria's two World Cup qualifiers.
yeah,
And then, Victor even went ahead to ask the Nigerian team doctor, just to fact check. You can hear one thing from one doctor. One doctor could say you're fine, another doctor could say you're good to go. But just because he wanted to represent Nigeria, he sent them the MRI scan. So the head of the Nigerian medical team for the Super Eagles, and then they also affirmed the fact that he will not be able to play. Victor even asked, "Oh, will the ankle injury be healed in 10 days, so that at least if he misses the first game against South Africa, he can play against the Republic?" And
being
the answer was the same, that he would not be able to. But Victor even went ahead and asked Finidi if he could at least be part of the camp, if he could just be around so that he could talk to the guys, ginger them and whatnot. So according to Victor, Finidi said he shouldn't even, that there's no need, that he should take this time to rest, he should be with his family and all that. So, that was the conversation that he had. So Victor was just quite surprised that, what, this is what's going on. Because, Nigerians have been howling him, especially after
yeah,
the Super Eagles' woeful performances, which he had nothing to do with. I mean, it's a different case if he played, he
he
was bad,
played,
and,
yeah,
but he was not even a part of it. People started sharing opinions that, look, he's in Nigeria, he's having a nice time, he's going out with his friends, and he can't even bother to go down to the camp. Meanwhile, he did ask to be a part of the camp, and Finidi said there was no need, that he should just be with his family, which he did, which he was doing. Aside Victor Osimhen, even um, Trust Ekong has been fit. You know, he asked if he could be a part of the camp, but Finidi said no as well, because the last competitive match that Trustek played was in March, and that was the AFCON final. After that, he had to do a surgery and he missed 3 months of football. He didn't even play any game for PAOK Athens, despite the fact that they won the league after March. So that was just what Finidi wanted. That's fine because you want the best of the best players available, but also in top form and in good shape. I'm going by that. That's why the likes of Kenneth Omiru and Ahmed Musa were not members of this squad, because obviously they haven't been playing competitive football at the highest level for a while compared to those that were invited to camp. So, that went ahead, and internet caught fire. People were sharing opinions. Victor shouldn't say this. Victor shouldn't have reacted this way. Why did Finidi do this? Why did Finidi say that? And in the midst of all of this, top Nigerian journalists were doing their investigation, and we then found out why, in fact, Finidi George first of all resigned. We also found out if he really said this and that
Yeah.
about the team. So first of all, with Finidi George, on Wednesday he had a meeting with NFF, and the sports minister as well was there. That's John Eno. They were there as well, and the result of the meeting, no, rather the meeting with Finidi was on Thursday. However, the NFF met separately on Wednesday, right? And in the meeting where the NFF had their own private meeting, they decided that they are going to hire a foreign expatriates. Let me just use that word. So let's say like the way Ralph Ranick was hired at Manchester United to be supervisor, that was the same way, the NFL wanted to toe that route. And but it ultimately meant that Finidi would be reporting to that person. However, after the 3-hour long meeting on Thursday, the NFF in that meeting failed to tell Finidi that they were going to hire a foreign expatriate. News blogs, Nigerian news outlets were already reporting a certain Conceição, who took Cameroon to the last World Cup, that he could be, the foreign expatriate that Finidi would need to be reporting to. So Finidi said he was not aware that, what the meeting was about was just the fact that they spoke about the conduct of the player, they spoke about what could have gone wrong and whatnot. And also in that meeting, the NFF told Finidi George that he would no longer be paid 50 million naira. His salary was then slashed to 5 million naira. Okay, so while on his way back to Port Harcourt, he got a call from a friend that, look, are you aware that a foreign expert, that you're going to start reporting to a foreign expatriate? And he said, no, I'm not aware. I just came back from a 3-hour long meeting with NFF. No one told me that. So Finidi then decided to wait 2 days to see if anybody from the NFF would call him and let him know that, okay, this is what's going on. But obviously, 2 days have passed. This matter has been discussed on national television, has been discussed on radio. Everybody knows about it except for Finidi. So because of that, he decided to, just drop his resignation, because it made no sense. First of all, you give him the terms of slashing his salary until they qualify for the World Cup. He agreed to that. And apparently, you're going to give him a foreign expatriate, which you did not even inform him about. And also, one of the things that Finidi complained about was the fact that, it seemed to be that he did not have the backing of the NFL, like they were not fully behind him. He wants to focus on work on the pitch, and he doesn't want to care about what the media is saying and whatnot. But it seemed to be that the NFF could not give him that vote of confidence, especially in the presence of the sports minister and obviously the sports ministry in general. So due to that, Finidi tendered his resignation, and he said he couldn't go. So first of all, we got that confirmation of Finidi himself wanting to resign and his genuine reasons for resigning. And then then going to the Osimhen issue. So a reputable Nigerian sports journalist who's been in the industry for decades, he reached out to two members of the NFF, two senior members of the NFF who had been there for years. He reached out to them, just to gather intel to know what exactly transpired during the meeting. And they did confirm the fact that, Finidi's salary was slashed from 15 million naira to 5 million. And but they did say that it was temporary until he qualified the team for the World Cup, which obviously is not a guarantee. If you take a look at the table, we just have 3 points out of
No way.
four
Yeah.
games, so you can't really tell. So it's difficult, and so that was first of all the case, and he then asked about Finidi's words concerning the players. So those two members, when two people tell you the same story, it's most likely the truth, because those two people don't even know that you're speaking to them. So it's the truth. And then those two people also corroborated, obviously in their own words, that the NFF accused Finidi of not motivating the players properly, and Finidi then responded, letting them know that, look, some of these players, their attitude and their approach to the Super Eagles can be questioned. And Finidi then went ahead and said, you know what, that he cannot beg anybody to play for the Super Eagles. It's if you need to show that you want to don the green, white and green. So obviously, that media outlet that fabricated that false story, they probably had the same intel, but they just decided to twist the story in another way and just break
Yeah.
false news. And so yes, that was Finidi said that he never said anything about Osimhen negatively. He actually did tell them that, you know what, Osimhen called me while he was in Germany, while he was having the consultation with the doctor concerning his ankle injury. He wanted to be a part of the camp. I said no, that he should spend time with his family. So what really happened was just the fact that Victor Osimhen reacted out of anger based on false
And
information.
then,
Yes. And it was rather sad because he basically called out Finidi and said he has lost respect for him, and he was basically just cussing out any other person that might have been saying wrong things about him. So this Nigerian journalist went ahead to then call Finidi because they have a long-standing relationship. So he called Finidi George and asked him if he's aware of Victor's outburst. He said he wasn't aware. Journalist sent him the video. He then called Finidi then called the journalist back and said, look, I never said all these things about him. Yes, all the things that Victor said in the live were true in terms of the conversations they had, in terms of him carrying Finidi along. Everything was true. But the only thing that Finidi did say to the NFF was just that I'm not going to beg any player, not that I'm not going to beg Victor Osimhen to play for Nigeria. That was
yeah.
not the case. So, and Finidi then said that he had already reached out to Victor to let him know that he never said those things, and even if he did say those things, he should have reached out to him personally and
Oh,
not take the
yeah.
matter
And
public.
then,
So rather unfortunate, but I want to believe that Victor, being someone that is prideful, after such an outburst, I want to believe that he's going to come back to the public
yeah.
with a public apology. I think Finidi does deserve that public apology. I mean, you could question Finidi's charisma, you can question his tactical nuance, you can question his player selection, but at the end of the day, this is someone that knows his onions. This is someone that is an MPFL champion. This is someone who has an illustrious career, not just in club football, but for Nigeria as well. He's a Nigerian football legend. So for you to come out on social media to, you know, call his bluff, quote unquote, based on just hearsay, it's not right. And I think sadly, Victor has a track record of, should I say, acting out of anger. Earlier last season, rather in this just concluded season, in fact, it was even before the season started officially. There was a training camp going on with Napoli. They just returned back to Italy actually after their preseason before the just concluded season started, and the new signing for Napoli, Lustig, he made a dangerous tackle on Frank Andres Samuel Anguissa. It was a two-footed challenge, and it was it was ridiculous. It was reckless. It's all those type of challenges in training that could probably give someone 3 months out injury. And Victor wasn't happy with the tackle with the launch, and Victor went ahead to react to Lustig for that sort of challenge. Luciano Spalletti calmed things down. He told the players that they should let it be, but Victor went on, kept on attacking Lustig for it, and he just couldn't keep his cool. And he was told to leave training. So, and it was on social media. But the way social media is, the only clip of what happened was when Spalletti told Victor to go down to the
Yeah.
tournament. And obviously, Victor was upset about that, vividly. And, people ran with that narrative. Now, today, because of what he did, people are resurfacing that video and saying, look, this is the type of person he is. He's arrogant, he's whatnot. 2 years ago as well, there was a time when um, Victor Ikpeba, also another Nigerian football legend, he shared a very should I say, controversial opinion regarding Osimhen and the Nigerian team at that point in time. And Victor Osimhen basically came out to just lambast him and also lambast Nigerian journalists in general. So Victor kind of has a track record in terms of outbursts. But I do
It's not
understand. I think we should understand that yeah, he's a footballer, but he's also a human being. Um, the way we all react to situations will be different. But what is expected of him is to act professional. He's a model.
professional. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a role model. He's someone who represents one of the most historic football nations in Africa. And then you're a top professional as well. You're one of the most expensive footballers in the world. You're one of the most prized assets for Napoli, if not the most prized asset for Napoli Football Club. So you should conduct yourself in a much better way. And I would only just like to assume that Victor will learn from this, and hopefully he can just work on his temper and you know react after thinking through whatever it is you feel in the sport of the moment. So yes, basically that was what just happened between George Finidi and Victor Osimhen.
Okay. So in all you've said now, there was a misconception, about what Finidi said, and okay, and how Simon reacted. Okay. These media people, man.
It's a wicked world, honestly. It's a wicked world, and
Yeah.
the sad thing about media is the fact that bad news travels fast.
As
Bad
in
news travels
like
fast.
wildfire.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
And now the truth is out, but I can tell you for a fact that the truth is not being circulated as fast as the bad news was being
Exactly.
circulated.
Yeah. You're
So
right.
it's rather unfortunate, and I hope that this does not hinder Victor's chances of playing for the Super Eagles going forward. Because
Yeah.
some individuals were calling for a sanction, but I don't think it warrants a sanction regarding the fact that Finidi has already resigned. Assuming Finidi was still in charge, I would then say maybe a sanction is warranted, but I don't think a sanction is warranted. I think with the fact that Finidi already resigned, I think it's a personal issue between both of them, and it should not
Yeah.
affect the Super Eagles, or rather Victor and the Super Eagles in any way.